Hiya friends, Prepared Suburbanite back at you. Filming indoors today because we are in the midst of a huge thunderstorm at 10 o'clock in the morning. It started about an hour ago and it's been pretty heavy rain, lots of lightning, lots of thunder, power's been flickering, all that kind of stuff. So I thought it would be best to film indoors today. So the backdrop is part of our prepper storage area. We got a number of number 10 cans up on the shelving units behind me here. And what I wanted to talk about today is, you've heard the scuttlebutt, you've probably watched other prepper channels, news forecasts and this and that about the upcoming and eventual mask mandates that are about ready to be sprung on us all. And my wife and I had a very interesting discussion about the whole concept of do not comply. So I want you to stick around and I'll get into some detail right after this. So after hearing what the governor of New Mexico just did, I think it was yesterday, she signed some sort of a proclamation trying to protect the public health by disarming all the residents of Albuquerque, New Mexico, because there was a rise or a spike in crimes committed by guns or something. It just goes to show you that the left is not going to stop. They're not going to cool off. They enjoy the power that has been bestowed on them by the voting public. And what she's done is grossly illegal, certainly unconstitutional, unenforceable, but she doesn't care. She said, yeah, I know I'm going to face legal challenges over this, and I don't care. So she's got a 30-day order in place right now in the city of Albuquerque and probably the county that surrounds it. And she doesn't care if she gets sued or not because her edict is only for 30 days. Okay? So do you think it's all going to get to court and get resolved within that 30-day period? No. So she may get a little knuckle rap with the ruler and say, oh, sorry, you shouldn't be doing that, Governor, but too late now. It's already 30 days has already gone by. So that got us to really thinking about what's going to happen with the upcoming mask mandates. Now picture, if you will, that the mandates have been announced, that the supermarkets, the local drugstores, doctors' offices, dentists' offices, hospitals, schools, you name it, universities, colleges, they're all going to jump on board with this mask mandate kind of a thing to protect us all from ourselves or others for whatever reasons, even though that there have been numerous studies that say masks are just certainly not effective for anything. And I can remember buying into a little bit of the hype the last time around when they used this excuse that says, well, you go into surgery in the hospital and everybody's wearing a mask. The nurses, the doctors, everybody's wearing a mask. So if it's good for them, it must be good for you. Well, I did a little bit of research on that and found out that the masks are in place for one particular reason only, and it doesn't have anything to do with spreading microscopic germs or anything. It's to prevent gross contaminants coming out of a mouth if you clear your throat, you sneeze, you cough, whatever, to keep that inside the mask so that it doesn't get into the surgical wound area and cause any kind of problems like that. But to the effectiveness of it preventing the spread of microscopic diseases, it's not going to do it. So the mask mandates that are coming, which I truly believe that they're coming, it's really going to be quite a show. And there's an awful lot of podcasts and conservatives and prepper channels, YouTube folks, and all this that are saying, do not comply. The mask is simply nothing but a sign of compliance and a sign of being overridden by the ruling class. And it's your badge to wear that says, I'm a good soldier, and we'll be carrying on from there. Do not comply. That's a tough order. If you've run out of baby formula, if you've run out of your prescription medicine, if you've run out of eggs or milk or whatever from the grocery store, and your local grocery store, your local drugstore, your local whatever store has got has bought into the mandate philosophy, there's going to be some kid waiting at the front door for you and saying, well, if you want to come in here, you're going to need to be wearing one of these little doodads. And you say, no, I don't need to. Well, then you can't come in. You can't shop here unless you're masked. And it sort of happened the last time around. I didn't see the enforcement at the store level, but that doesn't mean that the store manager or assistant manager or even the clerk himself can't pick up the phone and call the local authorities, whether it's the local police or the sheriff or whatever, and say, we've got somebody trespassing in our store, refusing to wear a mask, and we need your help to get this under control. So they come and they say, you have to leave. And you say, no, I don't. There's no law that says I have to wear a mask. This was just an agreed upon philosophy, a downward edict from on high, and it doesn't have any bearing in law. And here we are. So the police say, you need to come with us, sir, because you're not wearing a mask. And of course, they've already got their mask on. So they do this behind your back and they escort you out of the store. What's that going to do? If you needed to buy baby formula, if you needed to refill a prescription that you use to keep you healthy or keep you alive, I don't know. Are you going to trade off the freedom of not wearing a mask to wearing a mask and being able to refill that prescription, buy your baby formula, do whatever you need to do, get gas, get groceries, because you've got to have one of these? Are you willing to take that trade? The initial reaction that we had around the dinner table was, yeah, well, we're pretty well stocked up. We can do that. Well, what if you start running out? And you got perishables. You've got milk and things that can't keep forever. Yeah, you can do powdered milk and all that. But if you want fresh eggs, if you want whatever the grocery store's selling, and you need it to survive, is this enough to say, yeah, I'll put on the mask for 5 minutes while I go in, get my eggs, butter, whatever, and come back out? I don't know. It's a tough decision that we're all going to have to face, but I suspect that we're going to be facing it pretty darn soon. And this is going to go beyond, I think, just the masking policies and the plexiglass barriers at the cashier's desk or the counters at the supermarket and all that. I think it's going to go beyond that. I think they will begin to add criminal penalties to the non-compliance with whatever mandates they decide to come up with. And I'm very, very concerned about the eventuality of that kind of stuff happening in our great country. So, up to you whether you want to comply, up to you whether you feel the need to comply, but when it really hits the road, when you got to have that prescription refill, when you've got to get that baby formula for your babies, you've got to replenish your refrigerator with perishable foods from the supermarket, are you going to stick with the freedom? Are you going to stick with the individualism that comes along with saying, I'm not going to comply? Are there other alternatives that you can exercise? Can you borrow from friends? Can you raid your stockpiles? Can you suffer through with powdered eggs and powdered milk? Yeah, maybe you can. It's up to you, and it's up to me to make that decision when the time comes, and I suspect the time is coming very soon. This is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to be prepared always, and I'll see you all on the next video.